camera is doing the most right now, and there's a rumble in my tummy going boom bolo boom bolo boom bolo. It means that I am hungry and Mimi's time is near. I am so excited that I can hardly wait. My mouth is getting ready to sing the Mimi song. If you know the song, you know. If you know the song, you're my age mate. If you don't know the song, I know my age mate. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, I have to apologize. Like, this behavior is not acceptable. I'm sorry. Are you guys seeing the weight loss? Are you seeing the weight loss? Your guys be on some mission. You get me? You think you can track me down? You lie, because we're coming back. Are you seeing the weight loss? Alright, so basically we need to talk. And what I really wait, if you just see my face for the very first time, my name is Flora. I make videos from the United Kingdom, and I make videos about my faith, my lifestyle, and a few health topics. I aim to do a bit of fashion here and there, but the finances have been a bit low on my hand, you see. So fashion requires some spending of money, you get me, and that and my finances are focused on a different direction at the moment. So don't worry, when we're all out of this quarantine process, I'm definitely going to be doing some shopping. We're going to be going out and that, you get me. So hence why there's going to be a little bit of a pause in my fashion sense, you get me. You don't know. You don't know. Ever since I heard this, you don't know. Hey, your girl has been going crazy. All right, let's just start talking, because the way it's looking is like someone's going to forget what they want to say in this vlog. Okay, so basically, sorry guys, you're probably wondering why she got a throw around her shoulders. Guys, I literally just opened the window for like 2 seconds. Honestly, okay, like 20 minutes. And everywhere's gone cold. Like, this was supposed to be going into summer. This is meant to be summer. Why is the wind too windy? And why is it too cold? Like, why is everywhere just really chilly? Like, what? So that's why I've got this throw over my shoulders. So if you want to condemn me for that, then feel free to, because you don't know. Guys, I'm in a happy space today, because if you had seen me yesterday, your girl was just busy sobbing. I don't know why. I've been too emotional. Like, every little thing just triggers my emotions. It's not good. It's not good. But anyways, the reason why I've turned on my camera right about now is because I want to talk to you guys about something. I keep having to look here instead of here. So I really want to talk to you guys about something, and I feel like we need to talk about it. Over the past few weeks, there's been a lot of things happening. If you are an organic subscriber, which means if you're not a YouTuber, if you're just a viewer, you probably might not really understand what I'm trying to say. And I really don't want to be the one to explain it. You get me? I'm joking. All right, so I just want to talk about anger. And there's this past few days, this past few weeks, I have seen a lot of things, and my conclusion is that a lot of people are angry, a lot of people are upset, a lot of people are just not happy. And I'm not here to tell you that you don't have the right to be upset, because at the end of the day, you're the one that know where is pinching you. So therefore, you have every right to be upset. Like, you know where it hurts you. So I'm not here to say, oh, you don't have the right to be hurt. I'm not here to say, oh, you don't have the right to be. I'm here to just say, forgive and forget. Guys, let's please forgive and forget. A lot of us have supported people in the past, and they've not come back to support us as much as we have supported them. We just have to just forgive and forget. Like, think about how many times that we've offended God, but he loves us the same. Like, he's been ever so faithful. Like, even when we're not faithful, you just waking up in the morning alone, just being awake, just being able to speak, it's a huge blessing, because it doesn't take a lot for this body to die. And when someone dies, that's judgment straight away. They're going to the throne of judgment. They're going to go answer themselves. Like, I always think about this as, if someone is going to go to hell, at least go to hell for like something that you can hold to your chest, that yes, I did. Like, let it be a sin that is unforgivable. It shouldn't be something as flimsy as I didn't forgive her. Something that was not even your fault in the first place. But because you've kept malice, because you haven't forgiven, then you now go to hell. Guys, like, there's so much more to life. And even if someone does not apologize to you, because you want to, you know where you're going, just forget about it. And you have to be true to yourself. If you say I've forgiven someone and I've forgotten about it, you have to really be true with yourself. Be truthful with yourself, in the sense that if the person walked past you this very moment, would a sense of hate come up inside of you? Like, if the person picked up the phone to call you right now, would you pick up and be happy to pick up? Like, we have to be sincere with ourselves. The only person that we can't lie to in this world, in this whole universe, is God and yourself. Like, I keep saying forgive and I keep adding forgetting to it, because some people say, well, I've forgiven, but then they don't actually forget. So it's gonna be harder to forget, but at least forgive them. You might not necessarily forget it, because if you've had an injury before, it might have healed, which is the forgiving process. But then each time you look at the scar, you remember but when you're remembering what the person has done, don't let it bring hate into your mind, because if it brings back hate into your mind, then it means that you haven't actually forgiven that person. So I'm going to end with that, so I don't make this video excessively long. And I wanted to read Revelations 2, because in every vlog I like to read one chapter of the Bible. I'm not going to be reading it here, like reading it to you guys, like Revelations 2, the word of God says. No, I'm not going to be doing that. No, because I really don't want to bore you. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be just pointing out the key things that stood out for me in this Bible verse that I've read. And if you are at home, if you're less busy, wherever you are, please pick up your Bible and read Revelations 2. Revelations is that book that you really want to read, so you know what's going to happen in the end. Let me just give you guys a brief summary of Revelation. So the book of Revelation was basically the revelation of things that's going to happen in the end. So God gave this revelation to Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ gave it to John, and John is obviously telling us what was revealed to him. That's basically what the book of Revelation is. And so Revelations 2 is basically a message to the churches. This is the churches in Asia, but you guys all know that we've all migrated. Only God knows where we've all migrated from. I like to see this as the message to the churches on earth. I like to see this as the message to every believer, every single Christian, everybody that calls themselves Christians. This is a message for us. So because we make up the church at the end of the day, so we are the church. So that's how I see it. We're going to first start with the message that Jesus has for the church in Ephesus. So for the church in Ephesus, Jesus is saying that he's seen their hard work, he's seen their dedication, he's seen how they like to not condone any. He sees that they don't condone any false teaching, any false prophet. He sees what they're doing, and he acknowledges that part, and it's like, well done. I know that you don't give up. I know that you've been working really hard to make sure that these false prophets that come and like preach false teachings, you're tracking them down. You're on top of it. I see what you're doing. However, I have something against you. You've forgotten your old you've forgotten your it talks about forgetting your old law. Hang on, it says, but I have this against you. You have left the love you had in the beginning. So remember where you were before you fell. So this is my interpretation of this particular message to the church. It's like in this day and age where a lot of people, their main assignment now is trying to find out the pastors that are wrong, the ministers that are wrong, the ones that are preaching false, the ones that are, you know, it's something, it's something good, you know. You're at least opening the eyes of everyone to see that what this particular person is doing is wrong. But you then forget your main priority, which is to serve God in truth and in spirit. You forget that, and then you focus your main goal now in tracking down pastors, trying to bring out those ones that are wrong teachers, you know, false prophets. And you know, Jesus acknowledges that, oh, well done, I see what you're doing. However, don't then get lost in transit. Basically, don't get lost into that, and then you forget your true love, which is to love God and serve him and seek him truly. So people are like forgetting the main thing that they should be doing, and then they've turned their main job to like tracking those pastors down. We bring them down, those bishops, those ministers, those people that are telling us wrong things. We're going to bring them down. You know, he sees it. However, don't forget the main thing that you should be doing, which is serving God in truth and in spirit. Don't want to talk too much. The next message to the next church is the church in Semna. So to the church in Semna, this is just an encouraging words to them. Jesus just says how he sees how much they are like suffering. He sees their pain, he shares in their suffering, he sees how much trouble they go through for him. They might feel like they are really poor right now, but they are actually rich in the sight of God because of what they have. He even tells them that there's going to be more tribulations. Some of you are going to end up in prison for 10 days for my sake, but even if you die for my sake, I assure you that there's a crown of victory for you in heaven. It just encourages them to be continuously faithful. It says, but be faithful even if you have to die, I will give you a crown of life. You know, and do not be afraid, you know, what you are about to suffer. You know, but so it's basically encouraging them. So for the church in Semna, God is basically encouraging them. And for each church, the last verse always talks about, he that has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says. So for some people that might be listening to me right now, they're thinking, well, these are to the churches in Asia, it's not really to us. For the fact that you have ears and you've heard these words, then it applies to you. So he that has ears, let him hear. So as long as you've read this word, then it applies to you. For you to be able to hear this word, then it applies to you. That's how I see it. Like I always say, if you have a better understanding, please feel free to leave in the comment section, you know. Oh, so to the church in Pergamum, Jesus acknowledges that these people, they live in dangerous times. So they live in the very city of Satan himself. Like he's acknowledging that I know where you live. I know that you live where Satan has his temple. Like everything around you is just, it's like you live in the middle of Sodom and Gomorrah. Like everybody around you does all manner of things and they're not believers. I know you're in the worst situation right now, but you're still true to me. So he acknowledges that they are still true to him even in the times where they are. Let me just read it here so you guys get a grasp of what I'm trying to say. So it says, I know where you live. It is where Satan has his throne, but you are true to me. You did not refuse to tell about your faith in me, but I have a few things against you. So he acknowledges that these people, you know, you've still proclaimed my word even in the middle of crisis where you are, where everyone is against the things of the Lord. You are still there and you're still proclaiming your faith in God. I see that. However, he has a few things against this church. He talks about how some of them have followed the teaching of Balaam. He talks about how how some of them are practicing unrighteousness. So the teaching of Balaam, it's like I can make like a whole new video about the teaching of Balaam. The teaching of Balaam basically makes Christians believe, in a nutshell, makes Christians believe that there's something they call little sin and big sin. So little sin is so that we can just bribe that man. It's little sin. At least we didn't kill him, we bribed him. So God will understand. That's the teaching of Balaam, you know. And God is not two-faced, you know. God is not, it does not like lukewarmness. You're either hot or cold. He cannot compromise his standards for nobody, you know. So Balaam teaching is, you know, it has a lot to do with like bribery. It has a lot to do with immorality. It has a lot to do with sexual sin, basically. Eating foods offered to the idols, and by taking part in sexual sin, you know. So so God is saying here that you have some people following the teachings of Nicolaitans, and he's asking them now to change their ways. He says here, so change your hearts and lives. If you do not, I will come to you quickly and fight against them with the sword that comes out of my mouth. Everyone who has ears should listen to what the Spirit says to the churches, you know. And then lastly, to the church in Thyatira, I believe that's how I pronounce it. It says, I know about your love, your faith, your service, and your patience. I know that you are doing more now than you did in the beginning. However, so he acknowledges that, you know, I see your patience, I see your love towards me, I see what you're doing, I see your faith, I see your service. However, he has this against the church in Thyatira. You let that woman Jezebel spread false teachings. She says she's a prophetess by her teachings, but leads my people to take part in sexual sins and to eat the food that is offered to the idols. I have given her time to change her heart and turn away from her sins, but she does not want to change. So I will throw her on a bed of suffering, and all those who take part in adultery with her will suffer greatly if they do not turn away from the wrongs that she does. Can you imagine? I don't even want to think about how that bed of suffering is going to look like, but wherever the shoe fits, what's that thing they say? Wherever the shoe fits, I don't really know the same because it's gone off my hair right now. But basically, what I'm trying to say in this whole video is these are messages to the churches. There are more messages to other churches in chapter 3, which we're going to read hopefully by the grace of God. By the grace of God, not even hopefully, by the grace of God, my next vlog. However, I just really want to mention that these are the messages to these churches. You know, God acknowledges what they're doing. He said, I see all this good part you're doing. However, because he's not a God of double standards, he's like, however, these are the other things that you do that I'm not happy with, and I have to tell you because I'm not a God of double standard, you know, and I want you to make heaven, pretty much. So I'm telling you this now so you can amend your ways. So this is how I see the message. So this is what he's trying to say. So to the church in Thyatira, you know, so I see you guys, I see your patience, I see all of this. However, I have this against you. You let the woman Jezebel, you know, the woman Jezebel could be anything in your life. It could be, I feel like this is talking to like the inner circles of like the church, like maybe like workers, maybe ministers, maybe pastors, bishops, reverends. I feel like this part of the Bible is talking about those people. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have a better understanding, feel free. But I feel like it's talking to those inner circle. Like you see, you know, you're there, you see what they do, but then you see that woman just spreading false. So you're in that circle. You're the one that you're part of the workers. You can see what's happening, and you can see that this particular leader is doing something wrong, but then you failed to say, and you've joined her for the fact that you have failed to say. You've practically joined her to lead my people astray. It's going to put her on a bed of suffering, guys. Like I said, I don't want to imagine what that bed of suffering is, but you know, it's a warning. And it says, you know, further down, he that has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says. So these are all the messages to the churches, guys. If you have time, please read. Like, if you have a Bible that you don't understand, get a simpler version. My one, I didn't want to show you what it looks like, but I'm proud to show you what it looks like because it just means that I've been using it properly. It just says Youth Bible here, but I understand this Bible so much each time I read it, because although I still go to King James Version to just see, but when I read this, it's always very, I always understand. See, I've tipped here, tipped here. This was actually a gift from one of my pastors in my church. I don't know if I should say the pastor's name. He probably doesn't watch my video, but this is one of my pastors in my church. that gave me this gift, and he gave me this gift on the 18th of October 2013. Pastor Shegun Wotori. And the reason why he gave me this Bible was because of my desire to know God. It was a gift. This Bible was a gift, and it's really been a blessing to me. So like I said, if you guys like want to like really understand the word, just get a Bible that you understand. And yeah, we've come to the end of this video. I don't want to make it too long. I promised myself no more long videos. No more long videos. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We've come to the end of this vlog. Was it really a vlog? I don't know if it's really a vlog. So what I practically did was sat down here talking to you guys. So, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.